completely different. That is because I've packed my life up and I have moved across the country. So originally I was living in New Brunswick. I'm now back in Ontario, which is where I grew up, but a completely different city. And thanks to the help of my parents who came up here, we completely renovated the entire space. If you'd like to see a video in the future of my digs now, because it is very, very different than my last apartment, even though I loved the last apartment so much, I'd be happy to show you around, but leave that in the comments down below if that's something you want to see in the future. So I've come up with another gift idea for you leading up into the holidays. If you want to do a handmade gift, I think they're always really great for friends or family. And this time I decided to go kind of the edible route. So last week I did some bath options. This time it's edible because who doesn't love food? So I've come up with a couple of different dip mixes as well as a sweet little mix that you can either add to apple juice to kind of make it like an apple cider, or to wine to kind of make it like a mulled wine. So it's a cute way to package all of this and a great way to pass on maybe a recipe to a friend, and then they can like whip these things up instantly. So I'll show you all of my mixes and all of the recipes will be down below. Okay, so as you can see, you need a lot of different spices for this, and that's just because I'm going to show you quite a few different dip recipes and then also a sweet option for apple cider or red wine. But go out, do some shopping, raid your own cupboard, and the other thing you need to pick up is a container for your spices. Because it's Christmas, I'm going to be putting mine into these Christmas bulbs. They're plastic, and they came from the dollar store. The big one is going to be for my sweet mix that I'm going to make, and the smaller ones are going to be for the dips. So sadly I was only able to get one clear small bulb just because I was shopping at the dollar store, but I think it'll probably look better if you can get all clear bulbs. I'm going to use these ones instead for my spice mixes. So I will take you through each and every recipe. You're of course going to need some measuring spoons and a mixing bowl, but let's just get right into our first recipe, and I'll leave it all linked in the description down below for you. So we're gonna do 3 teaspoons of the dried parsley, 3 teaspoons of the dried minced onion, 3 teaspoons of chili powder, 1.5 teaspoons of ground cumin. Oh no. We'll just add a little bit more. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You don't have to do this, but I'm gonna add a little bit of the chili pepper flakes to make it a little more spicy. So that's your Fiesta Dip, and then on the outside we're gonna put a label as to how you can mix this together, but essentially this will be enough for somebody to make 2 batches of. Okay, so next I'm going to show you the dill dip. So of course we're going to need some dill weed. You're going to use 2 teaspoons of dill weed, 2 teaspoons of the minced onion. I like to add 1 teaspoon of the onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of the parsley flakes. So this is your dill dip, and again, good for 2 batches. And the last dip I'm going to show you is a ranch herb dip. So we're going to start with 2 teaspoons of parsley flakes, 1 teaspoon of the dried onion, 1 teaspoon of chives, 1.5 teaspoons of dried thyme. So unfortunately my camera cut out before I finished making this, but again, all my recipes will be down below in the description box. What you didn't see was me add a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. All there really is left to do is to now put all of your spice mixes into whatever container you decide, whether that be a Christmas bulb like I'm doing, or another cheap container that you can find at the dollar store. I would suggest getting a little funnel if you have a small hole to get into like I do, and you can make that out of paper. And once it's full, put your topper back on, and you can then make a little tag for it. So this last one that I'm going to show you is kind of a sweet option. This is something that you can either add to red wine or to hot apple juice, and it kind of makes it like an apple cider. So you're going to need 1 cup of sugar. That is kind of why I have that bigger bulb for it. And then you're going to need 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. And then about 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground cloves. I don't have that, so I'm just gonna use half of my 1/4 teaspoon. You could add a little bit of nutmeg to this as well. I just don't have any in my pantry. So you're gonna stir that all together, and then again, add it to whatever container you're gifting it in. So all that's left to do is just write on some tags, the instructions on how to use everything. Again, I will leave this all linked down below for you in the description box for all of the different dips, but you can get fancy with it if you want. Go on the computer if you don't like your own handwriting. I'm just going to handwrite this on some tags that I picked up at the dollar store. So that's another really unique and affordable gift idea for friends and family. And I mean, if you're somebody who has incredible dips and people are always asking you for the recipe, that's a really easy way to kind of pass it on to your friends and family, and you know they're gonna love it. I mean, who also doesn't love food for a gift? I know I do. And I'm obsessed with dips. I just demolish them every time I go to a party. That is where you find me, just hovering around the food table. So if you have any other great recipes that you'd like to share with me, in addition to the ones I shared today, leave them down in the comments below for me and for everyone else. And while you're looking for containers to gift your dip mixes in, I really love the bulb idea, but they are a little bit tricky to find, especially this time of the year. So another option would be the dollar store. They've got a lot of really great, cute, affordable containers that you could use instead. Now, if you enjoyed this DIY, give the video a like. Don't forget to subscribe, because next Wednesday I'll have a new video for you. And if you're looking for other gift ideas, I did another one last week, and there are plenty of other gift ideas on my channel heading into the holidays. Cheers, and I'll talk to you next week.